Induction of labor. Today we will be discussing about that in what cases we need to induce labor and what is it. So basically, induction of labor is initiating labor pains in a quiet uterus. That means the uterus is not normally contracting. It is that the labor pains has not established by itself, but we are inducing it. We are making the labor pains to start. So why induction of labor is needed? We do induction of labor when continuing pregnancy is harmful either for the mother or for the baby. That means discontinuation of the pregnancy, that means starting the labor pains, have more advantages as compared to continuing the pregnancy. So it may be a maternal indication or a fetal indication. That means the reason may be because of mother side or because of baby side. So usual indications, usual maternal indications are, it may be she may be a case of severe PIH. That means the blood pressure is going very high, it is not getting controlled, and that is harmful or risky for the health of the mother. So we need to induce the labor. Mother may be a case of gestational diabetes and the sugar levels are far out of control. She may be a case of SLE. It may be a case of abruption, that means bleeding has started already. So these are the usual reasons why we need to induce the labor, usual maternal indications. The fetal indications, that sometimes why we need to induce the labor because of baby point of view. Fetal indications are sometimes it is severe oligohydramnios, that means the amount of liquor has gone down significantly, it's almost nil, that it is almost impossible for the baby to continue to survive inside. It may be a case of post maturity, that means the pregnancy has already reached its terms, 40-41 weeks have already been completed, yet the labor pains not started. Definitely we need to induce the labor pains. Sometimes the baby may have some congenital malformations which are lethal and we don't want to continue with that pregnancy. Sometimes it may be a case like the placental insufficiency is very much significant, that continuation of the pregnancy is very much harmful for the baby. So these are the usual reasons why we need to induce the labor. There one thing is very important, then whenever we are inducing the labor, we have to tell the patient that there are certain side effects or risks associated with induction of labor. Whenever we are inducing the labor, definitely we need to monitor it more frequently. We may be successful in 60-70% cases, we may not succeed in 30-40% cases. The risk of instrumental delivery, that means the labor getting the progress of labor is very slow or the baby is not getting delivered by itself and we may need to apply the instruments, or we may need to convert this delivery procedure into a cesarean, our process is not working out, or the risk factors are something like that it's not landing up in a normal delivery and we may need to land up in a cesarean section as well. There are certain contraindications of induction of labor, that means we cannot induce labor in certain group of patients, like if a female is having severe cephalopelvic disproportion, that means pelvis is very small as compared to the baby, we know it is not going to get delivered from the mother's pelvis, or pelvis is a big tumor, that means coming out of the baby from the vagina is not possible. Sometimes if the mother is having a severe heart disease and we don't want that she get into a labor pain, and because all the blood overload goes on heart and may be risky for the mother. Sometimes it may be a case of herpes, genital herpes. Female is having a genital herpes and we don't want a normal delivery because then the infection would be transmitted to the baby at that point of time. So sometimes if it is a case of very severe placental insufficiency, then also we cannot go for induction of normal delivery, induction of labor. If it is an unstable lie or a transverse lie, the baby is in transverse position or in an oblique position, so then also we are not going to induce the labor because a baby in a transverse lie cannot be delivered vaginally. So these are the usual contraindications, common reasons in which we do not induce the labor. The success rate of induction of labor is dependent on that if you have a history of previous normal delivery, definitely the chances of success rate are higher. If your cervix is favorable, the Bishop score is favorable cervix, the os is already opened up, or it's a thin and effaced cervix, the chances of getting a normal delivery after induction of labor is definitely higher. So if you have any more other queries regarding induction of labor, you can definitely write us down in the comment box section and can subscribe the channel. Thank you.